Hello everyone, today we are breaking down Season 3, Episode 2, Unbound of The Witcher. But before that, remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. The first thing we see is a hanging at a local inn. We are in the northern kingdom of Temeria. The ones who were hung are spies from other northern kingdoms. The northern kingdoms did have an alliance when they were fighting Nilfgaard, but the fighting on that front has slowed down, so they kind of gone back to their old ways. Also, all the northern kingdoms want Ciri, because if they can get Ciri and marry her off, their kingdoms would double since she is the heir to Sintra. So all the northern kingdoms are very distrustful of one another at the moment. We see a royal messenger by the name of Applegat talking to an innkeeper. He is from Erden, one of the northern kingdoms. We then see Yennefer sit down at a different table talking to someone. Applegat makes a comment that the reason mages keep their beauty is that they bathe in human blood every night. This is a commonly held belief amongst the common folk, but is false. They use different elixirs and magical potions to keep their youthful appearance. Now, could human blood be in these things? Possibly. Yennefer has a note that needs to be delivered to Tissaia de Vries, her old teacher. Yennefer tells the girl no portals and straight to Tissaia. Portals can be tracked by other mages, so this is the safest way for Yennefer, maybe not the girl delivering it. Yennefer and the Brotherhood of Sorcerers are not on good terms. The Brotherhood is the governing body for all mages. They set the rules. You may remember from Season 2 that Yennefer disobeyed them and set a Nilfgaard prisoner free. So the letter could be apologizing, could be about Ciri, or all the above. Applegat leaves to get on his horse where he sees Ciri. He tries making small talk with her, but she just stares at him. She starts to have a vision about the man's future, and some visions from her past. We see that Applegat gets shot by an arrow right through his throat, and dies. Ciri is about to tell him what she saw, but Yennefer interrupts, saying Ciri is slow because she was kicked in the head by a horse. Yennefer grabs Ciri and walks off. Ciri argues with her, saying she has to tell Applegat what she saw. Yennefer says that changing destiny has consequences. If the man doesn't die, maybe a greater harm could come of it. It is kind of like Calanthe in Season 1. She denied Geralt of his child surprise Ciri, and then all this death and destruction came upon them. Changing destiny is very dangerous. We are now with Geralt and Jaskier. Geralt has just completed a Witcher contract killing a monster and is still holding its beating heart. He did this for money. Witchers get a fair amount of coin for killing these creatures. Geralt and Jaskier meet up with Coderinger and Fen. These two run a detective agency and get information on people. This is why Geralt had to do a contract, because this information is not free. They are here to ask about Rience. We get some background information about him. He was training to become a mage but was kicked out of Banard. Banard is the same thing as Aretuza, just for boys. Geralt believes that this supports his theory of Rience working for a more powerful mage than himself. The looks on Coderinger and Fen's faces support this. Geralt smirks, knowing that they know more, and puts some coin on the table. Fen says that she will need more than this if they're going to give him that info. Geralt suggests a wager with Coderinger involving a throwing star. He's going to throw it at Geralt. If he misses, Geralt gets the info. If he hits Geralt, he does not. This scene is pretty much right out of the books, but it just doesn't work as well in live action for whatever reason. I don't know. Anyways, he misses and Geralt gets the info that Rience is at a castle near Pienne. So that is where he will be heading. Geralt also finds out that people have paid Coderinger and Fen for info on Ciri. They suggest getting a doppelganger of Ciri and give her up so Ciri could be safe. Geralt didn't like hearing that. He does not want to get somebody killed pretending to be Ciri. We are now at Sintra with Emperor Emhyr, the ruler of Nilfgaard. He is grabbing a sword from a dwarven smith. He then goes into a long monologue about how a sword like this won him an empire. How he had to kill the usurper, the person who stole his throne. So we get some new information here. When we first meet Emhyr in Season 1, he seemed like he was not of nobility. He was just some kind of hedge knight, which is kind of funny since the curse made him look like a hedgehog. So it turns out he was part of the royal line of Nilfgaard until the throne was stolen from his family. We also hear his goal that war will be a thing of the past. And with his queen by his side, all races will live in peace. And he will be the emperor of the continent. So he kind of has the same ideas Ciri had in the last episode. She also wants to bring peace to the continent. You know, father and daughter think alike. We are now with Fringilla. Last season, Emir had her imprisoned after she lied to him. She is now in the dungeons, taste testing wine to make sure it is not poison. She has dim meridium chains on to suppress her magical abilities, which is why she is still there and not somewhere else. We are back with Ciri and Yennefer. They are at a market. We find out a little bit about the letter Yennefer wrote to Tissaia. Yen says it was just telling her that she was coming home, but Ciri knows there is more to the story. She says Yennefer wrote 3 drafts of the letter. So Yennefer is nervous. As I said before, she betrayed the Brotherhood. There is a chance they don't welcome her back with open arms. The two meet up with a sorceress who goes by the name of Keira METZ. People who have played the games will be familiar with this character. She's supposed to have blonde hair, but yeah, apparently she's a redhead instead now. Yennefer wants her to portal her and Ciri to Aretuza. So this is where things are confusing, because why can't Yennefer just portal themselves there? Unless the Brotherhood is able to just block unwanted mages from portaling there, but even then I would think you could still get a good chunk of the way there by portaling. Also, Yennefer told the girl she gave the letter to no portals. So that girl, who is also going to Aretuza, the same place Yennefer and Ciri are going, couldn't be that much farther ahead of them. Like, is the letter even there yet? To let Tissaia know, hey, I'm coming home. I don't know, there's some things in this episode that didn't make a lot of sense. A man comes into the shop with a boy on a chain. He says he needs a portal to Claremont. Ciri locks eyes with the boy and has a vision of his future. One where he is covered in blood. He looks like he was being beaten. Ciri will not stand idly by and she frees him. The man is pissed and pulls out his sword. But before he can do anything, Yen snaps his neck with magic. Keira grabs her stuff and heads through the portal. Apparently that man was part of a dangerous gang. Keira, before leaving, tells the two to run or else they will end up dead. Yennefer and Ciri head towards the exit. We are now at Aretuza with Triss Merigold and Tissaia de Vries. Triss is helping Tissaia teach the students here. Vilgefortz, Sabrina, Artorius, and Stregobor are discussing politics in the other room and the two enter. They are basically stating what we have been hearing all episode, that the Northern Kingdoms are fighting amongst themselves. It also seems that the Northern Kings are trusting their mages less and less, not taking their advice. Tissaia basically tells them to stop. These topics need to be discussed by the entire council, not just 4 people. The rest leave. Tissaia then tries to convince Triss to go back to court, back to Temeria, to advise King Foltest. Her council could help get peace again amongst the Northern Kings. Triss does not want to do that though. She wants to be with Tissaia and help teach. Tissaia believes the only reason she is doing this is because she could not help Ciri, so she is trying to make up for that here. You may recall that Triss was initially the one teaching Ciri last season, but got spooked after she saw what Ciri is. Triss goes to check on a student who didn't come to class. She enters her room, but she is not there. Triss sees blood on the wall, so something bad has happened to the girl. But who could have done it? Those answers, I would assume, will reveal themselves later in the season. We are now at Redania with Philippa and Dijkstra. He is tied up while she asks him questions and is whipping him. Basically, it was about his first kill and how he tortured this elf too much and accidentally killed her. He was mad at himself because the elf could have been useful. She could have done their bidding. Philippa then unbinds him. He then thanks her for giving him perspective and clarity. I have no idea what this was about. I don't think any of this info will come up again. And this whole sequence was just weird. I think this is just kind of showing the dynamic between the two, but unnecessary, I think. Philippa tells Dijkstra that Radovid, King Vizimir's younger brother, is pretty smart. He has good instincts. He could be useful to them. We are now with Geralt. He is at the castle where he fought Rience last episode. He enters the castle. He starts to hear weird noises and drinks a potion, which is why his eyes turn black and his skin becomes paler. Witcher potions can do a variety of things, but the one we see here increases speed and strength. So if you're facing a dangerous opponent like Rience, it could help give Geralt the edge. We're back with Ciri and Yennefer. They are talking about the incident that happened at the market. Yennefer is not exactly happy with Ciri. They are trying to avoid unwanted attention, and Ciri keeps trying to save people. Yennefer scolds Ciri about the consequences of saving that boy, that the man's cousin will come to that town to recuperate his losses with money or blood, that Ciri may have saved one life, but has damned an entire town with her actions. Ciri gets annoyed with Yen, saying she has no idea what she is going through, what it is like to fight for control of your life. Yennefer does know what this is like, and she's going to show Ciri something. They're going to take a quick detour. Also, throughout the episode, Yennefer has been calling Ciri her ugly one. This is from the books. I didn't think we were going to hear this, so I'm a bit surprised about it. We are now with Cahir. He is attacking a caravan, and it seems he is by himself. Cahir was the top general of Nilfgaard, but was severely demoted after he and Fringilla lied to Emperor Emhyr. Also because he was not able to find Ciri. He is now stuck raiding caravans, having nothing to do with battles. He is about to be killed, but is saved by Gallatin. Gallatin is part of the Scoil Tel, the rebel group of elves raiding and basically harassing human supply lines and caravans. He and Francesca had a bit of a falling out last episode, so it seems he has gone to Cahir for help. Gallatin wants to lead the elves. He says Francesca believes too much in prophecy and how Ciri is going to save elven kind. Cahir's ears pricked up when hearing this. If he was able to somehow capture Ciri, then he would get back into Emhyr's circle and become a general again. We are now back with Fringilla. She is very drunk from all the wine she has had to taste test. A fellow taste tester died, and the guard tells her to put him in the bag. He then leaves the room. I wonder what she's gonna do. We're now with Jaskier and Radovid. He came to Radovid with information, but Radovid wanted to hear a song, and Jaskier is not going to say no to that. To be honest, the Jaskier songs have been going downhill since season 1. There just hasn't been a banger since. Radovid gives him praise. Jaskier points out that he is pretending to be drunk, and Radovid seems impressed he was able to figure this out. We see that Radovid is playing this political game quite well. Everyone thinks he's a drunk and an idiot, but in reality, he is a lion in sheep's clothing. Jaskier wants to know if Radovid will deal with Rience or not. Jaskier knows Coderinger and Fen know who he works for, but Geralt does not have the coin for that kind of info. Radovid does, however, being a prince and all. Radovid says he will dig up some info on Rience. As Jaskier leaves, Radovid says, does the Witcher know how lucky he is to have you? So I think Radovid may think those two are in a relationship with one another. Also, it is pretty clear to see that Radovid has the hots for Jaskier. We are back with Geralt. He is exploring the bowels of the castle. We see 3 heads come off a wall. They are talking, they are saying, please come help us, he'll be back soon. So it seems that Rience's boss has been doing some strange experiments here, which is the result of the 3 girls now. We know that Rience's boss is a powerful mage. That means they are most likely part of the Brotherhood of Sorcerers. Earlier in the episode, there was a student missing, and we saw blood on the wall, so there was a struggle. Could one of these girls be that student? Something to think about. Geralt walks by the heads. Another girl is screaming out for help. He is able to save her since she wasn't just a head. The girl is a spitting image of Ciri, ashen hair, and she has green eyes. The girl is talking gibberish, saying that there is more of them down here. Geralt feels his medallion start to vibrate, meaning magic is being used. He picks up his sword, ready to fight. We see a bunch of body parts that look like they were melted together. There is a bunch of legs, arms, and torsos. It actually kind of looks like some of the creatures you face in the forest, which is a video game. Anyways, the creature does not have a name since it was man-made. Geralt starts fighting it. The heads start yelling at Geralt, asking him why he is hurting them. So we find out where their bodies went to. They must not have any control of this creature since it is attacking Geralt, or they're just gaslighting him. Geralt stabs at a torso and kills one of the heads, so Geralt will at least have to stab 2 more torsos. We see Geralt use Ard during the fight, which is a sign, which is a simple spell Witchers can cast during combat. Ard is a telekinetic thrust that sends opponents backwards. Geralt is able to defeat the creature, but in turn killed the heads on the wall. We are now back with Fringilla. She did hide in the bag. Luckily for her, they didn't throw her into a hole. It was just a ditch, basically. But she has escaped. She still has the dim meridium chains on, so she won't be able to use her magic. So she is not out of the woods just yet. We are back at Redania. King Vizimir is having supper and telling some stories and whatnot. Philippa and Dijkstra are here as well. Radovid comes in to tell them the info Yastir gave him, that Coderinger and Fen have info on Rience. Philippa plans to give the two a visit. Applegat, the royal messenger, has arrived here as well, so it seems that Eredin and Redania are getting along better than the other northern kingdoms. Could they be plotting something? Radovid and Dijkstra have a little talk. Radovid lets Dijkstra know that Vizimir had a meeting with Nilfgaard last night. Dijkstra seems distraught at this news. He is the spy master. Vizimir never hides anything from him. So is Radovid making a play here? Is he just saying this to rattle Dijkstra, or did this actually happen? I guess either way, Dijkstra will probably be more paranoid after this. We are back with Coderinger and Fen. Rience barges in. He knows Geralt was here. He wants to know what they discussed. He then burns the two alive in their establishment. Rience portals out of there, but not before an owl follows him through. Remember, Philippa said she was going to see them as well, and she has the ability to transform into an owl. So it seems she is going to get some major info on Rience and whoever he's working for. We are back at Aretuza. Tissaia has received a letter from Yennefer. Both her and Vilgefortz agreed to allow her to come back. It doesn't sound like there was any mention of Ciri in the letter, so this is going to be a fun surprise. Tissaia says she's going to meet Yen at Gors Velen first, just to make sure she's not bringing any trouble, which she kinda is. We are back with Ciri and Yennefer. They are in a field. This is where Yennefer's house used to be back when she had a hunchback. The two hold hands and Ciri sees Yennefer's past. Yennefer is trying to relate with Ciri here. She tells Ciri how she decided to save someone, how she set a prisoner free last season, and in doing so has set the entire North against the Brotherhood. The Northern Kings have stopped listening to their mages because of her actions, which have caused many to perish. She's really trying to drive home the point that Ciri's actions will have consequences. We're back with Geralt and fake Ciri. The girl wakes and says, "I knew you would come for me, and we are tied by destiny." Geralt asks who she is, and she says she is Ciri, and Geralt's reaction is one of the funniest things to me. So Rience's employer must have had this girl as a backup plan if they couldn't find the real Ciri. Show this one. You could marry her off or give her to the highest bidder. Now he must have did some kind of spell or some brainwashing here for her to believe she is Ciri. But I'll be curious about what Geralt does with the girl. Will he do Coderinger's plan or no? I suppose we'll find out next episode. And that is the end of episode 2, Unbound of The Witcher. What did you think of it? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more Witcher content, please subscribe and like the video. Also check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.